Hello, this is Cassie B, and this is the Whatever It Takes podcast. It is December 17th, and it's actually pretty late. It's like 10 o'clock at night right now, and I had a busy day. I delivered some gifts to some of my friends at my former job, and then I moved a lot of my stuff out of my apartment into my new apartment. And I think everything went pretty smoothly. I feel good about most things, not too much anxiety. And yeah, but I decided to do this podcast because it was becoming, when I got home, it was about 5 o'clock at night. And I was very tired and very sore from I was very sore from moving all the big furniture and everything. So I decided I'm not going to do anything today. And I'm just going to relax and do what I feel like doing. And that was about 4 hours ago. And I feel relaxed. I feel good. I feel nourished. And I told myself, I'm not going to do the podcast today. And I will do it tomorrow. I'll just take a break. But then I started getting into a pattern I've noticed about myself where usually I like to relax and do a craft and I'll watch a show, and the show might not be interesting to me if I watch it on my own without something to do or keep my mind busy like a craft. So I'll do that. And then at one period, as time goes by, if I get tired of my craft and I put it away and I just start watching the show, my mind will travel from here to there, and I will, without that distraction of the craft, I will be switching between tabs, and I'll be watching half of this video and half of that video, and that's really just not very good for my mind. And I also realize at that point that I do have enough energy to be doing something I want to do. I realize that watching half of this video and half of that video, I'm doing that because it's not stimulating my mind. I'm not really happy doing that. I'm just, neither happy nor sad. I'm neither enjoying it nor not. I'm just complacent in a way. I'm not willing to, stick with something because I'm not really interested anymore. So I noticed that, and I was like, well, if my mind's getting bored with this, and I'm still not ready to sleep, and I'm okay, and I'm feeling fine, and if I didn't do this podcast, I would just be up anyway, scrolling through videos I don't really want to watch. So it's kind of nice how, it's working out like this. I can really tell that this podcast is something I enjoy doing solely just because I enjoy it, not for anything other than that at this point. It's become a nice habit and a nice way to feel more grounded in my life. I've realized at different points of my life I'll have more self-control than not. And I've just realized I have quite a lot of self-control right now. Doesn't mean I don't get angry. It's stuff like that. Doesn't mean I don't have my bad days when all I feel is anxiety and being overwhelmed and stuff like that. But it's also just nice because it gives me the same feeling I feel when I'm talking to my therapist in a way. Not that I'm using this as like a replacement, because usually I don't really talk about things I wouldn't talk about to anyone else with my therapist, because that's just how I feel. But usually there isn't somebody that I can talk normally with. So for me, therapy is really having that person I can talk normally with about sometimes just everyday occurrences, like if I get into a fight with somebody, like a verbal fight, you want to get that off your chest. You want to talk about why you think this happened, or how they hurt you, or, things like that, like your feelings about it. And for me, that's something you may also talk about with a friend if you have a really close friend and you know that they don't mind to talk about things that occurred, yeah. So I get the same feeling here, even though I'm not talking about things in great detail, because I don't like to, I don't think it's very mature to bring up people's names in situations. Like, I know I love this person, but they might not treat me well. I don't think it's good for your own health to be dwelling on that. I think it's good to understand that may be how you feel, and maybe they don't really treat you well. And to like emotionally distance yourself so you don't feel as hurt when things like that happen. But I don't think it's good to pretend you're okay with it, but also hold like hostile feelings, because that can really affect you. I think it takes a long time to forgive people, and sometimes it's not something we can do for a really, really long time, and it's something we sometimes decide not to do, and that's totally okay because it's your life. And it can be hard to say we love people who have done us wrong, but I don't know, for me it's part of my healing process to really be able to forgive people, and to feel like I'm in a place right now where I don't hold any grudges against anyone, or I don't want bad will onto people. So that's just something I was thinking about. I've been doing this podcast, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm sorry if, I cover the same topic sometime. I think I'm pretty diverse in what I'm saying, but sometimes I will repeat it, and I'm totally fine with that myself. But yeah, sometimes I have a feeling that I don't really know what the topic is. Like when I go to write the title, I think, what was it that I was talking about? And I think that's okay too, because I don't know. We go through so much, and sometimes we have to reflect on some things more than others. It'll take us a longer time to get over this hurdle than another one, and it's totally fine. Yeah, on another topic. Today I received through my email my results for my exam that I failed. And it was kind of, when I saw the results, it was hard because I basically failed by 1 to like 2 questions. It was graded in a way that it was a 90 question test, but it was graded in a way that you had to get 1,400 as a score to pass. And I got 1,360 about. And I tried to figure out the grading thing, but I just knew I was very close. And it was, sometimes it's harder when you get off by 1 point, because it kind of feels like there was something you could do, and I don't really think there was something I could do. I studied, I got great scores on some things. I didn't know what I know now, so that's not something I can feel guilty about or bad about, but it still does sting. Sometimes the feelings that you let out into the world are different than the feelings you like feel physically in your body, like stress and anxiety, or when something goes wrong, you feel like a tinge of like, that was so hard. Yeah. I did everything I could do on my test. I made sure to use all my time, because I was really unsure. I didn't even know if I would get as good of a score as I got, because it was so different from what I studied. But at least I know with what I did that, I was actually learning this material. It wasn't just that I was memorizing it, because all of the questions on the test weren't questions I had ever seen before, So I can feel really proud that I got this far. I think for me, the hardest part is having to just go through the experience again. When I study, it's like either all or nothing. Either I won't study or I'm going to give it my all. And that means many hours of studying, many breaks, because I think we deserve breaks when we do a lot. And it helps me to be able to continue and not get overwhelmed. But yeah, in the last few days, it's a lot of going over stuff. I can't really do everything I want to do because I am in study mode. I am in the mode of this is important to me, so I'll give it my all. And that's how I felt the first time. I'm happy I did so well, but also it's hard because it was so close. It was so close. And just having to pay again because it's a pretty expensive test. It's not astronomical, but it's just hard. And going to the test center and feeling that anxiety you feel when you start a test and doing all that stuff. I know all of this will help me when I go to college, being able to juggle things and being able to be okay with failing. We always want the best scores, but sometimes we are going to fail, and some people don't take that very well. It's hard, it's sad, sometimes it's connected to, our being. We live in a world where it's like you either win or you lose, and for me, that's not how it is. Just because you win doesn't make you a winner. Just because you win doesn't make you happy or, it doesn't mean you have all the things in your life figured out. And just because you lose doesn't mean you're a loser. It doesn't mean you're any less valuable than that person who won. There's circumstances that make it harder for some people to win. Yeah, and just really, yeah, we live a life that is hard. It is hard for people who are struggling and can't afford help. Like, for ADHD, a lot of the times that's a condition that can really, really feel like it's ruining your life. It can really feel like it's ruining your life if you don't know that you have it. Your world seems so strange. You say with such conviction, I love doing this one thing. And then it could be a day later. You completely forget about this thing and you're on to the next thing that you completely love. And yeah, I think it's a condition that also the person who has it sometimes they aren't good with knowing how much time has gone by. It kind of makes that area fuzzy. So and that affects your confidence. So you'll be thinking, like, you miss a day of doing this activity that's really, really important to you. And it's only a day. It shouldn't matter, but it feels like 3 days. It feels like such a longer time frame, and it's not. So that makes me feel like, I don't really care when I do. It's really hard. And I guess what I'm trying to say with this is we live in a world where that isn't taken as a serious medical condition in a lot of situations. It's like, I don't know how much it is for getting other things diagnosed, but for ADHD, it is like, I called a few different places before I was able to get recommended through my therapist to the provider who works for them. And it would be like $1,500 out of pocket, because it is a medical condition that you can't, for a lot of places, it will be that your insurance won't cover it, which is really hard. And it doesn't seem right, I know there's not as much research. There is a lot of research, but there's not as much funding into the research as for ADHD as other things. Yeah. So it's just hard that it would cost somebody that amount of money. Normal people don't have that amount of money to just throw to the wind. Because this is a thing where, you never know if the provider, is a good source. People are still people, and sometimes they're going to be wrong. They're going to say it's not this when it is. Things like that where it's just all up to kind of luck. There's definitely more to it than luck. But luck is, I've been through 2 driving schools this year, 3 different job trainings that didn't work out. And from that, I would say I was very unlucky. I didn't have luck on my side. And for finding like a therapist and a provider and things like that, it also takes luck, because it really is hard, and it really is sometimes a waiting game. Sometimes you'll get a therapist that may be a good therapist, but you just don't mesh well. And it can be hard to talk to somebody who you don't get along with very well, or you don't think their viewpoint is helping you. You can also just get a very bad therapist. And I think it is waiting, and it is about having a little bit of luck. And you have more luck the more times you try. I think luck and persevering is tightly connected. Because if you try something 5 times, you're more likely to get it than if you try it once. So you're like building up your luck, I feel. There's a lot of things that you're going to have to do over and over and over and over to really see anything coming out of it. But I don't want to take things too seriously. I want to enjoy what I'm doing and also feel like luck will be on my side without me having to change the fun things that I like. I don't want to compromise myself for, maybe I don't want to compromise myself to get something I think I want, I'm gonna leave it up to luck in a way. I'm gonna try to do the best that I can, but I'm not gonna worry about the little details, because I think that's mostly up to luck. Say if I made a YouTube video, and when I'm writing the title, I try to make it as appealing to people, but I spend like 25 minutes on it. I really like the video I made. I'm really proud of it. It's so good. I really enjoy it. But I spend those 25 minutes like freaking myself out, like what word's gonna attract the most people? Who's gonna like it? How can I get this thing I really, really enjoy to be seen by more people? And sometimes I think no matter how hard you think, no matter how hard you try to manifest like luck on your own, sometimes it's just about doing something you enjoy and not making it stressful. Just continuing on. That's something I used to worry about a lot. I guess, how can I make this the best product it can be? And that's something I try not to think about, and I don't really think about anymore. I just want to do it, get it done, enjoy the rest of my day, because there's other things I like. I think that's one thing that helps me to stay stable, is to not put all my eggs in one basket. I really like making these videos. I think they're so enjoyable, but this isn't the only thing in my life. I have other things to do, other responsibilities. Yeah. I have hobbies and crafts, and like when I finish this, I'll do something else. I'm not going to make this the reason for my being. There's so many reasons for all of us to continue to exist and grow and find that hope in our lives. So, yeah, that's a lot of things I've been thinking of, and yeah. The training I'm doing for the program has a lot of content that is very stimulating to the brain. The last 3 days I went to it, my brain was very, 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 very happy, and the content it wasn't too hard to understand for me, because I've gone through some of that content before, a lot of it actually. But when I was done and I went home, my mind would race, and it kind of went off of the content and raced on other things that I couldn't control. So, yeah. It's been a lot, but it's given me a lot of inspiration to talk about different things, and I think it's very cool. And I'm kind of very happy that I got to make this podcast tonight, because I do want to do it every day, and I'm not going to get mad if I don't, because today I thought I really needed a break, and I did. I took 4 hours for myself. And then I realized, I really want to do this. And that's a good sign that, this is something I honestly like doing this. It's just fun. Yeah. It's getting so close to Christmas. Yeah, I brought some people some Christmas cookies today. And I bought them at a bakery. And they look so, so nice, And it made me want Christmas cookies. Someday I'll have to buy myself a box of Christmas cookies. There was, those ones with sugar cookies with a lot of frosting, wreaths, and Santas, and there was chocolate cookies with marshmallows and raspberry somethings that looked like kisses, the shape of a chocolate kiss. And it just looks so, so, so nice. Yeah. I should someday go out there and just buy myself one cookie. That would be so enjoyable. And just doing something like that, buying people cookies, it gives you a lot of inspiration for yourself. Because I don't think I would have gone to that bakery if I didn't have a goal in mind. Because I went in and it was just so nice. I'd been there before, but not for a really long time. Yeah, I also had lots of fun today too. I went out to eat with my mother, which was really fun, and it didn't feel stressful at all. Sometimes when you're with other people, it's stressful. But it was very good. I was very happy. Yeah, it's getting so close to Christmas. I've written all my Christmas cards. I've labeled all my Christmas cards with the addresses. Now the only thing I have to do is find my stamps, and for some reason I just can't find them. And it's every day that goes by, I'm they're not gonna get there by Christmas. So, that's kind of my goal for tomorrow, other than working on a writing project I get to do, sorry about my language. I'm really gonna enjoy it. But that's it for today. This is the Whatever It Takes podcast. Thank you very much.